Welcome back, viewers. Today, we're diving into the astonishing tales of 7 individuals who defied fate and survived against impossible odds. From miraculous plane crashes to lightning strikes, these stories will leave you in awe of the resilience of the human spirit. Vesna Vulovic. 22-year-old Vesna Vulovic did impossible when she emerged alive after a 33,000-foot fall, entering the Guinness Book of World Records for surviving the longest fall without parachute. Vesna Vulovic was a stewardess on an unfortunate Yugoslav Airlines flight from Copenhagen to Bielga, during which the separatist group planted an explosive in the cargo. As the explosive went off, the plane crashed into the mountains, slaying all 28 passengers and the entire crew except for Vesna. She was hospitalized with a fractured skull, 2 broken legs, and 3 broken vertebrae, but managed to survive and lead a full life afterward. Croatian music teacher. Reaching the age of 85 was not a smooth ride for him. A door on the plane was blown away, and Selak was blown out of the plane with it. Believe it or not, he survived by landing on a haystack. Only 3 years later, he was on a bus which plunged into the river and finished 4 passengers. The fuel tank in his car exploded, but he managed to react in time, and the incident unbelievably repeated itself just 3 years later. 20 years after that, Selak survived 1 more car explosion and another bus accident, only to win the lottery and become a millionaire in 2003. He is truly the most lucky person of all time. Stella Maris. Stella Maris College's Old Christians rugby union team from Uruguay had a mountain peak named after them when they tragically crashed into it while flying to Chile to play a game. The glacier of the mountain finished 12 people, vicious Andes on a temperature of 30 degrees below zero, running out of the scarce food reserves they had. The survivors lost all hope when they heard via radio that the search for them had been called off in the harsh conditions. They started dying off one by one, with the last one standing eating their deceased friends. In a desperate attempt to keep on living, 2 of the bravest people managed to reach Chile on foot and inform the world that a group of 16 people were still out there, having survived an incredible 72 days. Natalie Gorski. Natalie Gorski worked as a researcher at the Institute for High Energy Physics in Portion while checking a malfunctioning piece of equipment. A beam from the largest Soviet particle accelerator, measured at about 200,000 reds, went straight through his head. Bugorski's face swelled up beyond recognition and started peeling off. The beam burned through parts of his face, his bone, and the brain tissue underneath. Astonishingly, although only 500 reds would normally be enough to execute a person, Bugorski survived. Elect was undamaged, and he continued his scientific career with much success. He did, however, lose his hearing in the left ear, with that side of his face remaining frozen due to the destruction of nerves. Roy Sullivan. Roy Sullivan was a range of Virginia who made it to the Guinness Book of World Records by surviving being struck by lightning 7 times. Each strike did leave him scarred through the lightning, left him with loss of a toenail or burning off as more serious consequences, such as setting his hair on fire. Searing. Ironically, after a series of miraculous survivals, Sullivan ended his life at the age of 71 by taking his own life, apparently out of reasons unrelated to his bad luck. When it comes to storm. Joe Simpson and Simon. Joe Simpson and Simon Yates dared to set on the mission of scaling the west peak of the Cerro Grande, 2,814 feet high. The mountain is part of a mountain range in the Peruvian Andes. The ascent toast made famous by Simpson's book Touching the Void, in which he describes the climbing and the falling. Simpson was wounded and fell 100 feet into an ice cross. He managed to survive and crawl back up to base camp. It took him 3 whole days. Truman Duncan. Truman Duncan had the most horrific accident you can imagine and survived it. He was just another passenger on a train when he accidentally fell off a train car in motion. He was swept underneath the speeding train and was literally cut into. Duncan not managed to survive the horrible events, but he stayed conscious for the next 45 minutes. He managed to give his cell phone out and call the paramedics himself. He underwent 23 surgeries, lost both his legs and a kidney, but miraculously made it out of the hospital alive. These incredible stories of survival are a testament to the strength of the human spirit and its ability to overcome the most daunting challenges. If these individuals can endure and thrive against all odds, there's no limit to what we can achieve. So stay tuned for more inspiring stories, and remember, never stop believing in the power of hope and resilience.